Today I'll be showing you guys how I do a wrinkle finish on a valve cover. So this is a spare Toyota Tacoma valve cover that I had. So this is for a Toyota 2RZ motor. I've already prepped it. I really didn't do anything special. I just kind of like left it in degreaser to get rid of all the filth. I cleaned it up, scrubbed it, dried it. I gave it a little bit of a sanding. Then I gave it some etching primer, right? Self-etching primer just to really set it into the metal. Then I hit that with a ceramic primer, high temperature engine primer. And that's done, right? I gave it a light sanding. You don't really need to do too much if you're not gonna go to a gloss cover, coating. So since I'm going with just a wrinkle finish, I didn't go too ham on that. I'm gonna go ahead and just start getting this prepped and basically just shaking the can. And I'll show you guys how I do this. Now, normally you could hit this with a heat gun or a hair dryer in order to get it to wrinkle, but I live in Florida. It is September, which means I can just do this outside under the million-degree sun, and it will wrinkle to perfection. I did it years ago with a black wrinkle, and this time around I wanted to go ahead and do the red. It's very Honda thing, I guess you could say. But it just generally looks good in my opinion, so I'm itching to go ahead and do this. And I actually have a K-series that I'm going to do it on as well. Now, the instructions for this say to go ahead and add 3 coats in a crosshatch pattern. So basically you're going to paint one, let's say vertically, one horizontally, and one diagonally. You're going to leave 5 minutes in between each coat. And that's going to give you the heavy film thickness that you need in order to get the nice wrinkle effect. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but first I'm going to just take a brush and brush the dust off the surface. Alright, let's wait 5 minutes and we'll drop the other coat. Alright, coat number 2, it's already wrinkling. So we gotta be quick here. Do the third coat after 5 more minutes. Alright, let's go in on coat number 3. It's looking much better already. Alright, that's the final coat. Let's just let the sun do its thing. So here's the final result, and the keen-eyed among you may realize that it's just not a good result. For starters, I mean, while the camera, at least on the screen here, seems to be exaggerating how pink it looks, in person it does look a little bit more pink than it does red, which is issue number 1 with it. But really, the big issue is that the finish is really inconsistent. Now, at first it was all like this, and I was like, oh crap, that's just like a textured red, that's not a wrinkle red. And some areas were worse, so I added more. So I got these like extra wrinkly parts, and ultimately it's just a really inconsistent and ugly finish. So I leave you guys with these lessons learned. I think the key mistake that I made was following the instructions on the can. Now, normally following the instructions on the can is the right thing to do. It will yield amazing results. However, the can probably assumes that you're laying down those coats in different angles in 5-minute intervals in a cool area, and then you're going to hit it with, I don't know, a heat gun or put it in the sun. In my case, I did all that in the sun, so it was wrinkling in between coats. And looking back to when I did this, thinking back to when I did this many years ago with the black wrinkle finish on my original valve cover, what I actually did was I just made sure I got plenty of coverage and gave a heavy coat to the entire thing. I did it in the sun and I just let it happen, right? And I got perfect, even wrinkling all throughout the entire thing. This time around, I tried to follow the instructions on the can, but in the middle of the hot day in Florida, that's not gonna work. So I think you can follow the instructions, but in a cool place, like inside your garage, right? Hit it in all the different angles and then carry it out into the sun, or hit it with a heat gun, and you'll probably end up with fantastic results, which is not what happened for me, because that's not what I did. So I'm gonna take this thing, I'm gonna sand it down, and in a future episode, I will go ahead and show you guys the final product, which hopefully will be nice this time around. And I have a feeling that if I do it as I'm saying, it'll probably be less pink in its final color. But I could be wrong, we'll see. I'll let you guys know how that goes. But I just leave you with those lessons learned so that hopefully when you guys try this, it'll come out perfectly for you the first time and you don't have to experiment as much as I did. If you've enjoyed this video, you want to see the follow-up where I do this better, feel free to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I post up the next video. If you have any feedback or any ideas, experiences of, that you've had with this and you feel like sharing, please feel free to leave that in the comments section. And as always, thank you very much for watching.